Good afternoon. I'm back with Daisy. I thought I'd have a quick chat with you this afternoon on this hideously horrible rainy day, back in winter clothes, scarves and layers, and the heating is back on in my house, which is a bit miserable, but I'm sure it will stop. And anyone who's a gardener knows that the gardens need the rain, so we're supposed to feel good about that. So today I want to talk to you about how you're feeling about the prospect of going back to work. So each day I read the summary of the briefing that Downing Street delivers, and there's definitely hints that certain measures are going to be relaxed, and actually for some the prospect of going back to work isn't possibly that far away. That's of course assuming that you have not been working, and of course there are many amazing people that have been. But if you're in that position where you're not sure when that period of time is going to end and when you might have to go back, then it feels quite unsettling. Andrea, hi, good to see you live. It sort of got me reflecting, because in my corporate life, when you would get into that routine of you very much your 5-day week, you would have an amazing weekend, but then as Sunday progressed, that feeling would start to creep in, that, oh no, I know it's on its way, and that sort of anxiety on a small level, but it was a level of anxiety, would start to build, and you'd start to almost write that to-do list of what am I tackling. In our house, it required a kind of diary meeting, because both my husband and I travelled and we needed to make sure that the childcare was covered, like who's doing the pickup, who's doing the drop-off, who's doing this, that and the other. So we needed to plan our week, so we kind of couldn't avoid the discussion and sort of bringing the working week into our weekends. And I can only imagine that if you've been off for an extended period of time, yes, there's lots of reasons why we want this to end, because if it does end, it means that we're getting back to some sort of normal routine. The children could be going back to school and we will be slipping into whatever becomes our new normal. So, of course, there's part of us all that want that to happen, because it means we're past the worst of the virus. But actually, on a personal level, if you used to get that feeling, that Sunday night, Sunday evening feeling of nervousness about returning to work, then I can only imagine that if you're looking at going back after you might have been off for 2 months, and now you're looking at going back and you're not quite sure what it'll look like and how it'll be structured. Or actually you're going to go back, but the role might be different. You might be able to be more flexible based from home, but you might just literally have to go back to where you left off. And if you're feeling that anxiety, then that's probably telling you something. So for a long time, I used to get that, and I knew that there were others around me that did as well. And we all just thought that it was normal, but it's not. And I don't get that feeling now. I don't get that sense of foreboding and concern and fear when I know that I need to start my working week again. It's all on my terms and it's my choice now, which is a totally different shift in your mindset. Now, I'm not for a minute going to try and paint the perfect picture, because working for yourself means that it's pretty much there all the time. So if I want to take some time off, then I have to balance the priorities and plan for that in a different way than you would by just saying, right, I'm booking some holiday and off I go. When you work for yourself, it's there all the time. So it's there in the evenings, it's there at the weekends. And I do work at the weekends, but that's my choice. And when something is your choice, it feels totally different than when it's a case of you need to be working from this time to this time and travelling between this time and this time. And you're in control. So actually, if I choose not to, then I choose not to. So if you're at that position where you're starting to think, okay, the prospect of going back to work is looming now, it's starting to play on my mind, and perhaps you've had even a secret desire to do something different, and you've been suppressing that, you go to that daydream and you think, oh, if only I could this, if only I could the other. And one of those things might be, if only I had more flexibility, if only I could do something for myself, stay at home, work my career around my family. If any of those thoughts are in your mind, then now's the time to do something about it before you end up getting sucked back into that routine and back into that world where you are on the treadmill and you're constantly playing catch up. So if you're having those thoughts now, then I would absolutely recommend you register and join the group to cover the topics we're going to go through on the Facebook Live training at the end of this week. So we start on Friday. It's a 3-day program called Employed to Empowered, and what I'm really looking to bring to you is that thought process and that's both systematic but also emotional approach to making some changes. So what to look for in terms of the signs as to why you might want to think about making some changes, and then why you don't need to be frightened of making them, because you've no doubt already got a whole load of skills that you can already use, so that you can harness those rather than having to go through a whole heap of retraining. And there is a massive shift in the way that we're going to transact our lives, and we're going to be more remote. So getting to grips with that and understanding how the world's going to operate once we're on the other side of all of this can be really daunting, but it doesn't have to be, because lots of people have already got a whole heap of skills which are perfectly adaptable to life online. Angela, hi, good to see you. So that is the premise of that 3-day training. It's totally free. It's going to be in the group, so there's a link at the top of this page, so you can click on the link and go and have a look at the group. There is content regularly going in there. I do a weekly live anyway, which is free training on different topics every week, but I'm kicking off on Friday. We're going to do Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and we're going to really cover that journeying process. So when to identify that the time could be right to change, what you can then look at doing if you feel as though the time might be right, because the time might be right but you might be clueless about what you can do. So I'm going to start to get those creative ideas flowing and consider what you might be able to look at doing. And then if you are kind of enjoying that journey and you're ready to start something, what's the first few things you need to do really early days to get yourself set up with an online business that is yours, to give you the freedom, to give you the flexibility, and to not have to return to that dreading the Sunday night feeling. So that is Employed to Empowered. It starts on Friday. If you're in that place or you know somebody that is, please share this link and I will drop the registration details into the bottom, but it is done in my Facebook group, which is the link in this business page anyway. So it would be fabulous to see you over there, and have a great rest of your day. Try and avoid getting too wet. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.